Since we are almost ready to launch, Jürgen, our surveyor, visits us one more time to inspect Flying Coney, make sure that the hull is safe for launch and discuss how to continue with the refit project.
The big task for this year is to get the hull fixed from the outside. We hope this could be achieved by good pressure wash and a little bit of paint. When we hauled out the boat, we discovered a very severe corrosion damage. So now we are facing a labor-extensive, very expensive and extended time in the shipyard.
Hello, it's so good to see you again. I'm Barbara and together with Daniel I restore this historic steel ship. Our regular viewers might remember Jürgen, our surveyor, who inspected Flying Coney when we found out that half of our frames were gone. And today he joins us one more time to see the progress we made and to check if Flying Coney is ready for launch. I think it is important to tell you that we didn't record this video as an interview. We filmed Jürgen while he inspected Flying Coney and while he answered all our important questions about the current state of the ship and how to continue with this refit project. So we have about 1 hour of footage and we did our best to pick out the most interesting parts and to give you enough context so that everything makes sense. And I think it is a very interesting video because Jürgen knows so much about historic ships and regulations. And surprisingly, we learned a lot while we rewatched this footage. But before we start into this video, I want to thank all our new supporters on Patreon and PayPal. And an extra big thank you goes to all our officers, who go above and beyond to keep Flying Coney afloat. Your support makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. And now, let's bring you up to date.
When we took Flying Coney out of the water, we discovered a very big corrosion damage and some holes. To repair all that, the lads from the shipyard had to weld everywhere on the hull. To avoid setting our boat on fire, we had to rip out all the insulation. Unfortunately, we also removed some frames together with the insulation. So we asked the lads from the shipyard how to continue. And they answered, well, you need to call in a surveyor. So Jürgen, our surveyor, measured the hull thickness and inspected the ship. And after a lot of talking, considering and evaluating, we decided that even though Flying Coney has a lot of holes, a lot of rust and quite a maintenance backlog, it's definitely worth to save the old lady. Before Jürgen left, he gave us a very long to-do list and promised to inspect Flying Coney one more time before launch. So after endless weeks of hard work, he's finally back.
Oh, we can stay in English. I think that's a bit easier.
No, this may be also better for the...
For the video it's better, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but what's the overall idea with the survey now?
Well, I believe for the casco, we can say now today it's good. Also for the repair back, now you can put a doubling plate over there. That's allowed for your ship's type. That's okay. So I can make a report today with also the measurements which I have and the data I already have. That I say the casco is in order.
Okay.
And then we have to check the ship for safety.
Basically that means that the corrosion damage is repaired properly, the overbladings are fine and the hull thickness is more than enough. So overall, Flying Coney's hull is fixed from the outside. And that would have never been possible without the hard-working lads from the shipyard. Within some weeks they welded each and every pitting and closed off all the holes we found. They went above and beyond and were a big help in bringing Flying Coney back to life. And since we know that most of them are watching our videos, a big thank you to you lads.
For many different reasons, we can't sandblast Flying Coney during this shipyard time. So we decided to tackle all the rusty spots at the waterline with the Terco, especially to check for hidden holes. However, we always knew that this is only a temporary fix, and since we have to blast Flying Coney's hull somewhere in the near future, we decided to ask Jürgen how to proceed.
Yeah, what they do with sandblasting,
Yes.
or actually I would recommend to say we do hydrojetten.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's then they use water instead of sand, and it gives actually the same result as sandblasting. But because they do it with water, then when the ship dries up, you have this really tiny gold brown layer of rust.
Okay.
Fly rust we call it, vliegenroest.
Yeah.
And this vliegenroest is really perfect to paint over with your primer, because the primer sticks really good on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like small tiny holes. Now, yeah, all the rust which is in there will come out. It's the best surveyor there is for a ship.
With the riveted hull, blasting is always a bit difficult. With all the rust and sand flying around and the heat you introduce to the hull, there is always a certain risk. So you have to be very careful and choose the right blasting method. One good and actually quite new option Jürgen told us about is hydrojet blasting. It is basically a high pressure washer but 10 times stronger. And it blasts away even the rust that is stuck deep inside the fittings.
I can go around with my hammer. And that always gives a good view from, hey, where are we? What's the state of the...
You have the thickness, but we've seen it on the other side with the holes, and we've seen it here. Everything's fine, and then we have here this hole.
And that's totally normal. I was the other day on an Amsterdam canal boat, which they are refitting. Now, it's a bit the same project as the Q guys are doing. The interior comes out, and they see, oh, here was old ballast. And then exactly where the ballast ends and the steel starts, they're everywhere too thin, holes in there, and so that's pretty normal.
We got a lot of comments telling us that we really should sandblast. And we know that. It is absolutely not necessary to write it underneath each and every video. As you see, it is definitely on our to-do list. However, it is a big and very expensive step. Therefore, we want to do it when all the hull repairs are done. So first things first, before we think about blasting, we have to get the structural repairs and the welding done. Speaking about structural repairs...
You want to have a look at the frames from the inside?
Yeah.
We ripped out all the interior and the insulation to inspect the frames and the hull for damage. The hull was in good condition, but some frames were broken right at the edge where the concrete started. So the big question was how to repair them, and do we even need to repair all of them?
Like this frame is actually good.
Yeah,
but only here,
The question is for the concrete, not for the whole frame. Where do we need to remove the concrete?
I mean, that one looks also okay. Up here, but still here is a little bit of...
Yeah, but like if you look here, it has rusted a little and it looks worse than it is because 1 millimeter of steel gives 1 centimeter of rust.
I do think we have a steel problem, not a rust problem, because we have plenty of rust.
Overall, most of the frames in the Folks line are in really good condition. The only problem is here, where the concrete begins, most frames started to rot and need to be repaired. So the question is, how severe is the damage and what to do about it?
Yeah. But yeah, you know, if there's one frame missing a little, that's also not the ship will not collapse on that.
Yeah.
So it's more a question of the overall state.
Yeah.
And also the ship is not fishing at sea anymore. It's not fully loaded with fish and ice and everything. So that the hull is not being filled with a lot of cargo and a lot of weight, which really does something with the ship.
Together with Jürgen, we decided that it is safe to go back into the water even with the broken frames, and that we can repair them in an upcoming shipyard's time. Although only a small bit of each frame needs to be replaced, it is quite a lot of work, because we need to hammer out all the concrete in between the frames to be able to weld them.
We had a very thick layer of rust in the former fish room. So just to make sure that underneath all this rust there's actually steel left, we decided to buy an air chisel and got rid of all the rust. Oh, what a satisfying task.
Oh yeah, here's also changed a lot.
Yep, we still have light here. And I did...
This looks amazing. But in comparison to 4 weeks ago, I have to say I'm actually quite amazed.
Thank you very much.
And I have to also give my respect for you guys, because I know how much work this is.
I think it is fair to say that we were all a bit surprised by the good condition of Flying Coney's hull after the derusting. There are no holes, no severe pittings. Overall, the hull is in pretty good state. And after all the rust Daniel hammered off, that was a big relief.
We didn't buy Flying Coney just for the two of us. We always wanted to go sailing with a small group of people and share the fascination of a traditional ship with others. The plan is to restore as a topsail schooner that can travel with up to 12 guests all over the world. But the question is, what is legally required to sail with passengers? What equipment do we need? What systems need to be updated? How can Flying Coney become a passenger ship? And is that even necessary? Or can we simply stay a pleasure craft?
What would be the regulations for a commercial ship?
You need a stage 5 engine.
Okay.
Your whole fuel system has some rules and regulations. That your exhaust pipe from your fuel tank needs to be larger than your filling pipe. If you have 2 tanks, then the connection pipe between the 2 tanks also must be bigger than your filling pipe. There needs to be a closure system on the outgoing pipe of the tank, which you can use from deck, even if the rooms are closed. So if there's something going on at the ship, you are not there. And
So that's a completely new engine room.
Okay. All the cabling needs to be conform the standards of today. So you need special electro cables.
Right now, Flying Coney is registered as a pleasure craft, and that means we are allowed to sail with up to 12 guests plus crew, and we want to keep it like this. So we have to comply with all the rules and regulations for pleasure crafts, and that's what Jürgen checked today. On top of it, we try to fulfill the stricter rules for traditional ships and commercial sailing vessels, whenever it is possible and reasonable, to make Flying Coney a safe, seagoing ship.
Well, my impression of Flying Coney, it's a good ship, and of course it's an old ship. There has been a lack of maintenance over the past years, and that's really hard to catch that all up. Now, seeing and thinking how it looked 4 weeks ago and how it looks now, and what you guys did, I think you're really on a good track with that, and it's going to be a lot of work. There's still a lot of work to do, but you guys will manage that. And I'm sure actually that the ship is worth it. Then you are getting now in a state that most of the demolition work is now done, and that you can start moving up to the next phase, and that's repairing, painting and building up. So I believe you are doing a good job, and the ship is worth it.
And also the transformation to a sailing ship is realistic with the ship, with the hull shape.
I believe so. Yeah. With the hull shape, it has enough draft to be a sailor. Yeah, and also if you look at the bottom in the middle, it's a really nice, looking like a nice drop. Yeah. And in all that period, there has been like a huge lack of maintenance, and if you skip 1 year of maintenance, you get 2 years of maintenance back.
Yeah.
So if you skip 10 years of maintenance, you get 20 years of maintenance back.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are trying to catch up now. And that is really a lot of work.
Do it from the ground up, yes.
Yeah, but also that you guys want to do it properly. That's going to make the ship very happy.
Thank you.
And I believe that if she could talk, she would say, ich bin sehr stolz auf euch.
Danke.
Wow, what a compliment. This inspection was really uplifting and motivating. We are done with the most severe repairs and everything is the way it should be. Destruction phase is finally over and we can start to build up. I think that's a perfect time to end this video. Although we achieved quite a lot, there still is a huge amount of work in front of us. And since this project is completely funded by very kind viewers, it would be great if you check out our Patreon page to support this project, join the amazing community and become a member of the crew. We offer real-time updates, regular chats and a lot of other stuff. If you want to support us without all the benefits you get on Patreon, you can simply do so by donating on PayPal. The links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.